I know.
that.
You're right.
So I think we should probably get to the reason people are here. I know you all saw the trailer. You saw Shang Tsung change into all of these old ninjas and all of these great things. So, Mr. Anderson, I believe we have a picture of Mr. Shang Tsung. There we go.
I think it's weird to call him Mr.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
You know what's
too.
funny? When I said it, it didn't make sense.
It didn't sound right.
It
didn't sound right. No.
Did not make sense to me. Thank you. I think this is a good time for.
Yeah, something?
I think it's time for, before we get into it, we like to talk about the character as a whole. So there's something we've been waiting to do and people have been asking for on Twitter. It is time for the first Stephanie's Lore Minute.
So a lot of people are probably wondering, where is Shang Tsung during this Kronika conflict? And the answer is he actually came back during the Time Quake, but Kronika banished him to a time void because she's smart enough not to trust him. She's seen all the timelines. He's betrayed Shao Kahn, Quan Chi. He's literally betrayed everyone he's ever worked with. Right. So she actually locked him away and was like, I don't want you in my personal guard. I don't want you as a protector of the Hourglass.
But then,
after her defeat and the Hourglass is shattered, he is free. And who knows what he's up to. He is ever-scheming sorcerer. Whatever it is, it's probably bad.
And that was Stephanie's Lore Minute. Awesome. So let's get right into it. So, Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung, I'm actually super excited. He is one of those characters where I'm not like a huge fan. Like, he's not someone I typically play, but I've been playing him for work, and I really enjoy playing him. I think he has awesome space control and zoning. He's kind of like up there with Cetrion as space control character, and I'm super into it. So let's just go straight in.
So real quick though, you give some walk, show them some walk. Archetype wise, you're looking at maybe, like you said, space control, some zoning
for sure. Really good footsies. He doesn't have like the best mix-ups or the best like combos, but he kind of regulates the screen, and then he has some really interesting like weird trap moves thrown in too.
Yeah, and since today we're showing one character today, obviously, we're going to we have 3 loadouts, I believe.
Yes.
With maybe a
very fun third loadout.
Okay. I'd like to point out the awesome classic Sub-Zero skin. I mean, are we just not going to talk about that, or I mean?
Oh, now we can.
Okay. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
I can't wait for everybody to get their hands on the classic skins, man. Like, it's one of the most demanded things that we get is, where's the classic skins?
Yeah.
We listen, here you go, guys.
And people also demand for Sub-Zero to be beat up in every single thing we do, right?
Hold on. Now, I am conscious of that. And I wanted to use Scorpion for this, because Noobs doesn't show up well because he's, all black.
Right.
And Scorpion, there's a particular move I want to show that I need Ice Ball for.
Gotcha.
So the Sub-Zero fans that always tweet, I know, and this time we have to use them, but it's okay.
All right, let's do it.
We're doing it out of love.
Think of it as another member of Lin Kuei that's wearing the costume.
Got it.
Cool. Anyway, the first thing I want to note, I want to geek out hard for his stance, the Snake MK3, MKDA. I'm all in on that. And you can see a lot of his F-style, his like fight moves, use Snake style.
Yep.
I think that's super cool. It's a cool throwback. So let's start with his throws. You'll see a lot of his stuff is super effects heavy. Like, he's not doing everything he does physical. He also mixes up with magic, and I think it's really cool. Because something I thought of before we were like working on Shang is that they talk about what a sorcerer he is, but honestly, he pretty much just does skulls and soul steal. So I really love all this stuff that uses like the lava.
He pulls out the scroll and stuff like that. I mean, you actually see more of the magic coming through.
Exactly. I think that's really cool.
A J. Edwards special. He did an awesome job.
You can't see it here, but his throw is a little different than others.
Yes, he actually gains back a little bit of health.
What?
But
you can't see that because he has 100%.
Sure, but also his forward throw only does 100 damage.
Right.
So you're losing 40 damage off of it to gain that 40 back.
Right.
So here's a couple of the key normals I wanted to show. I think his premier normal, like the normal that defines him, is his forward 2, and it's this really long range mid. And there's a couple of options from it. He can do this string, which looks awesome, and that combos in the corner. So this string is actually plus on block. So when he blocks it, he can move before the opponent. So he can do like his down 3 or
go back
for
into
a throw.
pokes. Yeah.
Exactly. But it has a huge gap. If the opponent knows they're going to do it, they can attack through it. They can even just do a standing jab, and they get a full combo punish.
Right.
So he also has, to complement it, this one, which ends in a kick, and this does not combo in the corner. It's not plus.
Is it a hide?
It is not.
No.
The opponent has to block it, and here's what's really cool.
It does something a little special, doesn't it?
Oh.
That was a bad recording. All right. If it's a counter hit, it gets a crushing blow.
Nice.
So the meta here would be, you're pressuring it with this, you're getting your plus flames, you're looping it. Sometimes I walk back and bait it down 1. Sometimes I do his down 3, which has really good range. And then when they start interrupting it, that's when you go to this. And then once per game, you're going to get that juicy crushing blow.
Oh yeah. And it's one of those characters where like, you might not be winning the match if you don't pull that. Like, you're going to get that one every match if you're playing.
Yeah, it's definitely a core part of his gameplay. So the only real downside to this move is that it's kind of slow, and that's complemented by his back 1, which is a really fast mid. I think it's like 13 frames or something like that. And
that was an awesome jump attack too. Sorry.
Yeah,
I love it.
The Kung Fu stuff is really cool. And he can confirm that into his Soul Steel or his Fireballs or whatever. And he's not going to get like a huge reward off it, but that's kind of like the fast move you use if you're up close, and then this is too slow to use.
Right.
Another cool one is this Lava String. I'm a big fan of this because this is actually a tribute to MKDC Universe. Remember that?
Yep.
I do.
That's awesome.
One of those combo challenges had that.
It was insanely hard.
So hard.
It was insanely hard. Yeah.
Here's the thing I like about Shang Tsung. I guess let's keep moving with this because I have a point I want to make later, but I want to show some of those moves first when we get into the specials and stuff.
All right, so let's go into the specials. First off, the skull's back. It's pretty much exactly what you want. A fast projectile.
Does it scream?
The sound effect is great. I was spamming it earlier against someone and like really all in on the sound effect.
Yeah.
He can amplify it to do 2. He actually cannot amplify it to do 3 anymore. You got to settle for 2, but we might get back to that later.
Okay.
Also back is the Soul Steel.
Of course.
He morphs into the opponent for about 6 seconds or so. So there's something interesting about this. When he's morphed, he gains access to all their crushing blows. So he actually will get like 10 crushing blows, which is way more than anyone else.
Right.
Literally twice as much as anyone else. So if he does a down 2 as the opponent, that counts as his down 2. He can't do another down 2. However,
if he does it at Sub-Zero, he can't do it as Shang Tsung.
Correct. However, if he does one of Sub-Zero's, like if he does Sub-Zero's slide one, that doesn't take away from his Shang ones.
Right.
The downside is it will actually do 50% less. So you get this huge pool of crushing blows, but they're going to do 50% less.
Sure.
He could also...
When you're the opponent.
When you're the opponent, correct.
But you still have to do the
requirements.
So,
Yes.
for getting the main one you want with 50% off of his slide,
Yes.
isn't that bad.
Right.
So you'd have to maybe turn into Sub-Zero a couple times probably to get that to work.
Yes. You can also meter burn it to actually extend the time that you're the opponent.
Gotcha.
And Soul Steel is pretty much what you expect. Really good range. It is punishable, but it's going to be like stuff like Sub-Zero slide. So it's a pretty good like mid-range move to check them. He also has this brand new move, which is actually his own kind of slide. It's a mid. It doesn't reach full screen, but it's really fast, and you can use it to like punish stuff. Secondly, a new move, and this is again an example of him using sorcery in ways he never has, is Corpse Drop, where a dead body, which for some reason has a huge belly, I love that,
Because it's bloated.
falls from the sky. Oh, that makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah.
And if you amplify it, it becomes overhead low and does hella damage.
That's awesome.
And he has a close, medium, and very far version that he can use, so it kind of complements the space control moves. Like, they're kind of regulated because of the fireball, and they got to be ready to block that. And the low has massive radius, too. Like, you can see the blood will actually hit them, and it can kind of trip them.
And here's what I was going to talk about when it comes to Soul Steel. You read a lot of people online like having character crisis, like who do I play?
Right.
Shang Tsung's a great player because you've probably practiced 15 people on the roster. So
Yeah.
So you might know how to like. I was looking at this. Our friend John Anderson behind the desk is a Shao Kahn player. He's also played a lot of other characters. Tends to lean towards bad, bossy characters. I feel like maybe Shang Tsung's something for you to look at, John.
What were you laughing about, Derek?
Oh, nothing. You're just
Bad, bossy characters.
Yeah, you're just generally bad.
Wow.
So one more new move is, I call it Comet Skull. He summons these from the sky, and this is a awesome space control move. If you amplify it, it's actually safe on block, and you cannot interrupt it. So you can hit confirm into it and get pretty juicy damage, and it's also a great block string. Like if you watch here, he's safe, and he'll be pushed away.
I was going to say,
pretty
pushback,
hella.
yeah.
So I think this is a great keep-out tool. Like, you want to be in range for your forward 2, and you don't want to be close to the opponent. You want to be in range for Soul Steel, all that kind of juicy stuff. He can use this, kind of get out of dodge, and on hit, get pretty good damage.
Go ahead, sorry.
Definitely like a why not move, in my opinion. I think like Wound Cowboy will find a way to downplay this, but sane people will recognize it as an awesome zoning tool.
When I play new characters, I always like to look for what kind of tools I can use with Last Breath. And
That's a good one.
This seems like a really good place to go.
Yeah, it's just going to chip them out, right?
Yep. So you're getting how many hits of that just in block?
It's 3.
Yeah, so that's
amplify
perfect.
3.
Yeah.
It'll kill them.
So, let's go into the loadouts.
What do we have, Stephanie?
For this one, I gave him Shake. He actually transforms into smoke, and it behaves just like MK9. You can hold it, and if they do a projectile,
You get hit by it and freeze.
Man, I don't know if
Drop
you
down.
remember playing Trevor's Smoke.
I do.
But I got hit with that all day long by Trevor.
I played Waffles the most, and while he was a good player, he'd always forget about Shake.
Oh, I can't forget about Shake.
If you amplify it, you can actually absorb normal attacks, and this has a crushing blow. So the way it works is, it's if you do it twice in a row. So, well, I should probably actually get close. So to me, the perfect scenario here is you absorb a move, they're knocked down, you do a second one, if you read Wake Up, and they get got. And that's juicy, juicy
Don't
damage.
get got.
And that's what with this game too, as I've been playing more and more, like characters with sort of parry-like mechanics do very well when it comes to baiting out different wake-ups and stuff.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Especially like learning Liu Kang, I've learned that like people who are very pushy with how they play, gotta watch for that.
Right.
So the other move I gave him is Super Kick, where he transforms into Rain and does the Around the World Mortal Kombat Trilogy kick. So normally he doesn't get a combo. If he amplifies it though, they'll come back around and he gets a combo.
So in lore, are they actually going around the Earth?
Absolutely.
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 Yeah, that's the power of Rain's magic.
I thought so.
There is 80% of the Earth is water, so he has control over that.
And it makes it go faster because he's controlling the water, which
Exactly.
is pushing them. I mean,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
it's science.
It's kind of embarrassing you would ask.
You're right.
He can also cancel it. And this also has a crushing blow. So the requirement is to hit them with it right after you have canceled it.
Oh. And does it take bar to cancel it?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So lastly, I gave him a non-ninja move. This is his Soul Warp.
Oh.
It does a little bit of damage, and it will switch places with the opponent. So an obvious setup would be they have you in the corner.
Yep, switch
and
them
you
out.
could switch them out, and now they're in the corner.
You don't just stay there?
I don't know. Through.
Exactly.
It's
I think that's really cool.
a J. Edwards special. He did
And
an
you can't,
awesome job.
You can't see it here, but his throw is a little different than others.
Yes, he actually gains back a little bit of health.
What?
But
You can't see that because he has 100%.
sure, but also his forward throw only does 100 damage.
Right.
So you're losing 40
Right.
damage off of it to gain that 40 back.
Right.
So here's a couple of the key normals I wanted to show. I think his premier normal, like the normal that defines